Hello subscribers! I just saw the Aquaman movie and now I'd like to tell you my opinion of it. But first, I should clarify two things. One, there may be spoilers here, and two, it's possible that if I see this movie again, my opinion could change. So this video only represents my opinion at this moment in time. Overall, I love this movie for so many reasons. The characters, the story, the action, the visuals, the pacing, the musical score, and so much more. But what I liked most about this movie was the tone. It was fun. The main character had just the right blend of seriousness and humor, but he was put in the middle of a story with visuals that gave me a smile. While I personally did not love movies like Dark Knight or Man of Steel as much as a lot of other people did, I felt like in many ways, this was the DC movie I wanted to see. And it's funny because when I saw the Justice League movie, I really did not think actor Jason Momoa was anything special there. But here, he proved he's better than that Justice League movie showed. Although I won't say he gave the greatest performance I've ever seen here, what he did as the lead actor for the movie simply worked. This movie was so much fun to watch while I was sitting in the theater, and I walked out feeling in a good mood and looking forward to someday seeing the sequel. And now I'll elaborate on some of those elements. I'll start with the story. I thought it was fun and it all made sense. I think I followed everything here the first time I saw it. And I personally did not feel that way about movies like Batman Begins or Man of Steel. I thought that there, writer David S. Goyer had too many subplots and made things too difficult to follow. But this movie did not make anything overly complicated. One of the writers of this movie was DC comic writer Geoff Johns, and any of my subscribers who've seen my videos Legion on Smallville or Justice Society on Smallville know just how much I praise Geoff Johns as a writer. I think this script will please Aquaman fans and general moviegoers alike. Geoff Johns gave this script a lot of parallels to things he's written in the comics. So if you know anything about Aquaman, this story will feel familiar to you. But at the same time, if you don't know anything about Aquaman, this movie will explain it to you. Additionally, I thought the pacing was terrific. There's always something happening and I never felt bored. Also, this movie had a lot of jokes in the dialogue. I didn't mind the humor, but it wasn't what I'll most remember about this movie. Although, there was one really over-the-top moment with an octopus playing drums. I sure hope that was intended to be funny. Now, I will acknowledge that Jason Momoa looks different than the traditional Aquaman, and a lot of his dialogue does not sound like something I'd expect to read in an Aquaman comic. And I'll add that actor Patrick Wilson, who plays Orm the Ocean Master, actually looks a lot closer to the traditional Aquaman than Momoa. But in all honesty, as I watched this movie, I did not care about that. This movie had a new look for Aquaman, a new personality, but the right story, and it all worked. Additionally, I thought Amber Heard was solid as Mera, and she had chemistry with Momoa. This movie had other great performances by William Dafoe and Nicole Kidman. As far as the special effects, I must say that a lot of the underwater creatures and environment looked like CGI. But for one, I don't know how else they could have been done, and for two, between the creativity for the visuals and the fact that I was enjoying the story, I didn't care. Some of the action, including what was on land, was clearly CGI enhanced, but I didn't care. I found myself enjoying it. And there was actually quite a range of underwater images, some very bright, others very dark. This movie had a few moments reminiscent of an Indiana Jones movie, and some scenes that sort of reminded me of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings or King Kong. But the main feel I will remember is that this movie carved an identity of its own. And in truth, when I read Aquaman comics in the past, I was more interested in reading about what this character could do to use his abilities to fight above the surface than his life underneath it. I was never really into that whole idea of the underwater city of Atlantis with the whole culture of underwater people and fictional underwater creatures, until now. Seeing this movie totally changed that for me. Now I want to see more of Atlantis. I want to read some comics with Atlantis, and I look forward to someday seeing Atlantis in the Aquaman sequel. I could talk about this movie endlessly, but in short, when I think of what I want to see in a superhero movie, Aquaman delivers. That's largely because of its fun tone, but it's ultimately because of all the good talent and good chemistry. The actors worked well together, their characters were written to be fun and interesting, the story was clear and exciting, the action was exciting, the visuals were awesome, the pacing kept my interest, and the musical score was good. But of course, everything I've said here is just my opinion, and I'd like to read viewers' responses. Do you agree or disagree with what I've said? Would you like to point out anything I didn't mention? Please leave it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of my videos, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you. Thank you.